Treehouse of Horror 5 is the 6th episode of the 6th season of The Simpsons. This aired, interestingly, in February 1996. It's directed by Jim Reardon, and we have three main narratives here that I'll talk about without giving any real spoilers, but of course I'm going to say what the three segments are about. But just first of all, to compare this to other episodes of Treehouse of Horror, I feel like it's one of the most unique. I feel like each segment is pretty unique compared to other Treehouse of Horrors. I haven't seen every single one. I'm currently up to season 12, I think. Season 11 or season 12. So that may not be true after the fact. But certainly up until this point, I feel like they're all pretty unique. So the first segment is Homer channeling Jack Torrance. They are staying at Mr. Burns' country estate. They are working there, and obviously that gives us some pretty interesting Mr. Burns moments, but mostly Homer begins to lose his mind, and he writes on the wall, "No beer make Homer go crazy," and basically it's a Shining parody. And I don't want to go into too much detail about that or how it parodies it or what it includes, because obviously I don't want to spoil everything about it. But as a fan of The Shining, I like that. I think most TV shows at some point, particularly if they have a long run, will parody The Shining in one way or another. There's a beautiful parody of The Shining involving Rhea Perlman in Kirstie Alley's show Kirstie. Really thoroughly enjoyed that. But that's irrelevant to this. The Shining parody in this I thought was brilliant. It was predictable in some ways, unpredictable in others, and I really enjoyed it. The second one is easily one of my favourite segments from Treehouse of Horror, but one of my favourite episodes of The Simpsons. And that's the one where Homer kind of accidentally turns his toaster into a time machine. And he's able to go back in time, and he makes a small change and goes back to the present and realises everything has changed, goes back in the past to try and fix it, causes more problems, comes back, there are further changes, and he goes back and forth quite a bit, and every time he comes back things are completely different, and that's so exciting because there's this constant thinking of what's going to be different now, what's his life going to be like. It all involves his family are always there, but the dynamics are different, and certain other things have changed, and it's just so fun and so entertaining and really, really funny. And the third one is one that I think they could have fleshed it out a bit more, no pun intended, but certainly the concept was interesting. The staff at Springfield Elementary are cannibals, and they begin to eat the children, and certain children go missing, and Bart and Lisa try and save the day. And it's interesting enough. I did enjoy it. I'm not going to say I didn't, but I feel like it could have had a bit more substance. It could have been a bit more funny. I don't know. It wasn't a bad segment at all. I just didn't find it as delightful as the other two. But all things considered, this is a pretty perfect Treehouse of Horror. And I think, don't quote me, but I think it might be my favourite of all of the ones I've seen so far. I'm not alone with that. It's got 9.2 out of 10 on IMDb across 4,400 reviews and ratings. That's a ridiculously phenomenal average rating. So needless to say, it's one of the most loved episodes of all time as far as IMDb is concerned. I really love it too. I'd love to know if you have a favourite Treehouse of Horror. For now, I think Treehouse of Horror 5 is one of my favourites, possibly my all-time favourite Treehouse of Horror.